Okay, boys, so in this video, I'm on page 32, chapter 1 still, and I'm comparing. Now we're going to be talking about rates and unit rate, okay? So let's start off with what a rate is. Now, a rate is just a ratio comparing two quantities of different kinds of units. So what that means is, look, so when we're comparing characters and seconds, that's why it's a rate. So there's two different kinds of units, characters and seconds. Now what a unit rate is it's the equivalent ratio where the denominator is 1. So for example, look, right here they divided by 5, divide by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And now that the denominator, which is the number on the bottom, now that that is equal to 1, that's called a unit rate, okay? Unit rates are honestly extremely valuable. If you think about it, here's a unit rate that you use all the time. How many kilometers do you travel per hour, per 1 hour? Okay, nobody says I'm traveling 120 kilometers per 1 hour. Nobody says that. They say 120 kilometers per hour. But that's what a unit rate is. Kilometers per, it's 1 hour. Okay? That's a unit rate. That's an example. Alright, so I'm going to work through a few examples, but I'm not going to do much. So write each rate as a unit rate. Okay, so we have 44 points. I'll just put P over 4 quarters. Alright, well, to make it a unit rate, I'm going to divide by whatever's in the bottom here. So I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. So 44 divided by 4 is 11 points in 1 quarter. That's the unit rate right there. 11 points in 1 quarter. Alright. 125 feet in 5 seconds. Okay, so 125 feet in 5 seconds. That's the rate. So you have to write it as a rate first, and then you have to convert it into a unit rate, which means I want to divide by whatever's in the denominator, whatever's on the bottom. So I'm going to divide both the top and bottom by 5. So 125 divided by 5 is 25 feet, and then 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1 second. 25 feet per second. This one, 360 miles traveled on, so look at the way I'm reading it. 360 miles traveled on 12 gallons. Okay, so how fast is this as a unit rate? Well, let's divide by whatever's in the bottom. So I'm going to divide by 12. 360 divided by 12 is 30 miles per. 12 divided by 12 is 1 gallon. 30 miles per gallon. Now here's a tough one that you probably wouldn't be able to do without a calculator. So I might skip it, but here it is. If you have 12 meters in 28 seconds, alright, so again you want to divide by whatever's in the denominator. Actually, I'm going to just do a division problem here. So divide by 28, and I'll show you guys how to do this without a calculator. So you've got 12 being divided by 28. So 28 doesn't go into 12, so I'm going to say 28 goes into 12 0 times. I'm going to put a decimal here, and I'm going to add some zeros because I can, right? Because this is still the number 12. I didn't change anything, I just put some zeros on it after a decimal place. So it's still 12. So how many times does 28 go into, if I put a decimal point there, make sure I put one up here. How many times does 28 go into 120? I'm going to guess 5, not quite 5, 4 times. 4 times 28 is 80, and then, so 4 times 20 is 80, and then 4 times 8 is 32, so 80 plus 32 is 112. So 120 minus 112 is 8, 0. How many times 28 go into 80? Let's say 3 times. Not even 2 times. 2 times 28 is going to be 40, 56. So that's going to be 24 0.4. And I'm actually just going to stop here, honestly. If you had a calculator, you could get it much more accurate. And then the next question would be, how many times does 28 go into 24? But this is accurate enough right now. So I'm going to say approximately 0.42. So I'm going to say it's about 0.42 meters per 1 second. That's how you would actually do that manually. If you had a calculator, you'd just type in 12 divided by 28 and you'd get 0.42. That would make that way easier. Okay, but here it is again. Look, recap of this video because I'm stopping here. That's a rate, 44 pennies per 4 quarters, or point per 4 quarters. This is a rate. This is a unit rate because there's a 1 in the bottom. 360 miles per 12 gallons is a rate. This is a unit rate because there's a 1 in the bottom. It's the same rate, but it's the unit rate, okay? 125 feet per 5 seconds, that's a rate. Now, if I divide by 5 on top and bottom, right, I get a 1 in the bottom. It's the same rate, but this is called a unit rate, 25 feet per 1 second. And lastly, here's the rate, 12 meters per 28 seconds, that's the rate. When I divide by 28, I get a 1 in the bottom. So 12 meters per 28 seconds is the same thing as 0.42 meters per 1 second. That's the unit rate because look, there's a 1 in the bottom. Okay, that's it.